Free Speech Nation with me, Andrew Doyle. Women's rights activist Kellie-Jay Keen, also known as Posie Parker, hit the headlines last week when the New Zealand leg of her Let Women Speak tour was disrupted by trans activists. Kellie-Jay had to be escorted away from an event in Auckland by the police amidst genuinely disturbing scenes as she was confronted by a baying mob who heckled her, threw tomato juice at her and could potentially have even trampled her to death. A subsequent event in Wellington had to be cancelled. And Kellie-Jay ended up leaving the country, so she now joins me here tonight. Good evening, Kellie-Jay. Thanks for coming onto the show. Can I ask you first and foremost, how are you? It's been a week, obviously, since these rather terrifying events. How are you feeling now?
I'm great. My husband whisked us away on a family holiday, so I'm good. I think it was scary and devastating, and I went into police protection, but I think we managed to peak the world.
Important point, and perhaps you could talk us through what is behind the Let Women Speak event. What is it that you're trying to achieve from visiting these places?
Well, it's a little bit like Cuprinol. It's exactly what it says on the tin. So it's simply about creating space where women can speak about the attacks and infringements on their rights posed by transgender ideology. So that might be their children having their bodies sterilised, or getting sucked into this cult, or losing language, or not being able to speak about this at work or family and friends, and they simply come to this space that we've created in order for them to speak.
I saw some of the footage of when you approached the gathering in Auckland, and one of the things that you were saying to the camera at the time was there are no police here. Did it at any point occur to you, well, maybe I shouldn't go into this space because there's just no protection here?
Well, you'd think, wouldn't you? I assumed that once I got through the first bit of crowd, that in the centre there would be police offering a buffer between women coming to speak, and some men, but predominantly women coming to speak, and the protesters that were there to try and stop us speaking by drowning us out and intimidating us. And I was really shocked when I got in the centre that there were no police.
To what extent do you think that the lack of police presence is an indication of a failure at the highest levels of authority? I mean, we had politicians and media commentators calling you far right, even implying that you had fascist sympathies. Has that caused this problem, do you think?
Oh, yes, but this has been going on a really long time, and Nazi is the latest in many slurs thrown at women to try and stop us speaking. So, you know, it's sad and devastating and dishonest that they keep doing it, but I sort of feel that we're getting to this crescendo of what more can they say about women who just want to say women don't have penises and we'd like men to stay out of our spaces. And I guess this eventually will have no impact on regular people who are looking at this issue. And actually, the way the New Zealand government treated me and immigration treated me, and they shone a real bright light on me. Other people looked into me and found that actually I wasn't the things that I was being accused of, and I had something valuable to say.
So let's address what a lot of your critics say, which is that at the event preceding Auckland in Melbourne, there were a small group of neo-Nazis doing Nazi salutes, and what they've tried to say is that you were in some way complicit with these people. What do you say to that?
Well, it's absolutely ludicrous, but utterly convenient. However, those men turned up to do their own rally. It was nothing to do with mine. They've got just as much as the Antifa, far left or authoritarian fascists that turn up, which they might call themselves trans rights activists, but they had just as much to do with them as they did with anyone else, which was pretty much nothing. I mean, I don't know much about Nazi ideology, but I don't recall some sort of women's rights arm of far-right Nazi ideology. So they had nothing to do with us whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, no, they would be veering quite far from the ideology there. You mentioned that this event has piqued a lot of people. I have to say, I think you're right. There's so many people have been talking about this event, but it's those images of these men breaking through barriers in this violent way and surrounding you. And what do you think is going through their heads? Because surely they're trying to persuade people that they should be in your spaces, and then they're behaving like this. What on earth's going on?
Oh, come on, Andrew. After seeing that, everyone's on their side. Everyone's going, what, that tiny, threatening, bigoted woman, dangerous woman. Of course we want more men in her space. You know, what a great, massive failure on their behalf. I often invite these nasty, aggressive misogynists. I sort of, you know, I playfully say, you know, come and prove my point, and they do. And this time, 2,000 of them did, and it was rather frightening. And a 72-year-old woman got a fractured skull, and another woman got her foot broken, and the violence was just horrendous. But it's made so much worse by the fact that news in New Zealand and politicians have pretended that this was some peaceful, loving protest to show what a Be Kind Rainbow Brigade New Zealand actually has. So that in itself has also helped people understand that the news and the media is sometimes not on the side of the people.
I think that's right. I mean, I saw that footage of the 72-year-old woman punched repeatedly in the head, and yet you've had Media Watch, a New Zealand outlet, today saying that it was totally peaceful and this has been completely misrepresented. I mean, people can see for themselves, can't they? And I suppose the more you do this, the more that will become absolutely clear. But why do you think it is that the violence is escalating? Because I think that is the case all over the world. The violence seems to be getting worse.
Yeah, I think violence seems to be getting worse. Full stop. Not just in this issue, but it's they're just about to lose. And so I think these are the final throes of a really aggressive ideology that most women have known for a long time, and I'm sure men are catching up, but most women have known for a long time that it's underpinned by misogyny and a real hatred of women. And so this is the final frontier, isn't it? We've been ignored, we've been laughed at, now they're going to fight us. And then, as Gandhi says, we will win.
And what next for you? Will you be continuing the tour? Will you be doing anything else to try and raise awareness of this?
Yeah, 1 o'clock next Sunday, I'll be back at Speaker's Corner for the regular Let Women Speak event. Then I'm going to Birmingham, going to Ireland. Then we'll go back to Speaker's Corner. Then we're going to Birmingham. And in amongst that, I'm going to start my campaign to run against Keir Starmer to force serious politicians that are gutless to actually talk about this issue and not hide from it anymore. And they'll have to tell the electorate, do they know what a woman is or not? And they either look foolish or they will be roundly peak trans themselves.
Yeah, well, good luck with that, because they have a serious problem answering that question, don't they? Kellie-Jay Keen, thank you ever so much for joining me tonight.